At the end of the last video, I'd actually got the platform made, and the platform was down here, just on this side of the long tunnel. Now, I've got to put this this real stone slate up as a backdrop before I get to the point where the hill and the greenery sort of all start up there. And I was going to show you a bit of greenery, but it's not very good. But here we go. See? So we'll get something, whatever, like that. Now what I've had to do, I've had to mark where the platform back was, because I measured it by putting the track to platform mark here by the sleeper, and that's how I gauged where that should go. What I've got to do now is to cut the slate to try and get some nice pieces to fit in there. Now I have to attempt to cut this slate. I'm going to try with a couple of cold chisels. Whoops. Nice hammer. This old chef's knife came from a tip many years ago. It's really nice, so it doesn't matter if it gets blunt, it could not use for anything else. I've got two different types of slate. If you can see this one, you can see all the lines in it, and hopefully somehow I'm going to try and cut this so I get various nice pieces. This piece, this comes from the Yenadon quarry near Tavistock in mid-Devon. Now this weighs a ton, but you can also see, I hope you can see stratas there, and somehow I've got to get, see, you can see the line, I've got to get down there to cut that, to try and just get some nice pieces. So I really don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to have a go with this one now, just to see what happens first time round. We have to wait and see. Right. That would be nice, wouldn't it? This unfortunately is not doing what I hoped it would do. Now that's just not working, is it? Just not working. Lots of little pieces, but nothing to for me to. There we go. That's not what I wanted either. That's a bit too big. But I think maybe I could reduce that in thickness somehow. But the textures, look at those colours and textures. First person to see that in how many millions of years? Who knows? That's brilliant, isn't it? Brilliant. Well, I did it at last. I've got some nice thinner pieces, which are good because they won't take up so much thickness. I've also got some nice small ones, some really different types. Look, I mean, just look at the colours on that, if you can see that. I just love all this sort of stuff. Maybe I should have been a geologist, I don't know. But I tell you what, it took a lot of doing. It took me about an hour and a hell of a lot of mess. But with all the mess, I got enough to make up a couple of truckloads of spoil that look quite good if they wasn't so heavy. But there we go. So all I have to do now is to rearrange this artistically on the over the original tunnel to make it look a miniature version of a rock face. Here we go then with the, I've put a couple of bits of polystyrene in up there, and I'm just going to do this bit here. I've never done this before, so I might be doing it wrong, I might be doing it right. But put it this way, I'm doing it. Hang on. Why is that not working? We must always turn electrical supplies on first. It just makes the device work so much more efficiently. This little thing is really good. I'm very pleased with it. So that's that a little bit down. That's going to slot into there. So I have to do a cutout in there because I've got the electrical bits in there. So I'll just do that. Wonderful, get off. Okay, that's good. And now the other thing I've got to do, I'm just going to slope this from sort of there down to there, and if I just use that as a little bit of a line. Now one thing I have found is if you push the polystyrene through the wire, you get a far better, straighter cut. Trying to move the wire in your right hand over the polystyrene just was all ziggy, you know, all over the place, and wasn't very good at all. But that's not working. Ooh, here we go. Oh, look at that. Right at the very end. Okay. That's good. That's good. Now the next bit is going to fit in there, and that has now just got to be trimmed. Man, look at that. That's the bit in there. That's good. So now getting what can I use now? Come on, must have something I can use. There we go. So we just do this bit and then I'll show you how I glue it all together. Because it's not taking any weight, all it's doing is just keeping it in one place, because I feel, I've never done this before, but I feel I've got to use Mod Rock on over this. This is basically your big chunk base at the back to give it support. Beautiful. I can unplug that now because I don't need that anymore. And that bit goes in there like that. Oh, I do need it more. I do need it. Because what I've done with the others, now I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Okay, a little back to front. I'm using copy decks. Not used copy decks a lot. Don't know a lot about it. But it's just kept the other stuff in place, and keeping it in place is the only thing it's got to do. So smells horrible. That's good. And now a bit more goes that way, doesn't it? Yeah. And a bit more on there. Lovely. Good. Which way I did that, that's better. Almost forgot which way round it was going. And now, because the rock face is going to slope back slightly, as I've done with those, I'm just going to going to trim that back. It's a great little tool, really good. I think the pack was £19. I seem to remember. And yes, very good. Very pleased. Since the first time I've ever had one, or the first time I've ever used one. Yeah, quite good. Like it. Like it. Okay, so that's that. Now, one thing that I'm going to show you now, a bit of close up. One of the other tools is an engraving tool. So I just engraved LMS 1947 because that's the year of my model railway. So there we are. I've just completed the whole length now. So that's all ready for the messy Mod Rock to go on next. Not looking forward to that. Be interesting. We'll see how we go.